Hello students, myself Monotosh Dey, your English helpline on the go. Today I shall discuss a lesson from Beehive which is taught in CBSE curriculum of Standard 9. The lesson under discussion today is The Fun They Had, written by Sir Isaac Asimov. Dear students, if you are watching my channel for the first time, kindly subscribe and press the bell icon for notification of every new video that I upload for you. Well, before we begin, let me give you a short introduction of the writer, which will be followed by the discussion of the theme, story sequence, and finally recapitulation of the story. So, dear students, let's begin. Sir Isaac Asimov, his literary career started when his contributions to science fiction magazine started publishing in 1939. Nightfall, a short story Asimov wrote in 1941, proved to be his ladder to literary success. The story is based on a planet where night appears only once in every 2049 years. Till now, it is considered by some to be the best science fiction short story ever to surface. His first book, Pebble in the Sky, was published in 1950. His most famous set of novels is a trilogy, namely Foundation, and Empire and Second Foundation, which was published in 1951. I, Robot, which was published in 1952 and filmed in 2004, is another brilliant piece of work by Asimov, which focuses on developing rules and ethics for artificially intelligent machines. Now, let's move on to the theme of the story. The story is set in future in 2157. The author talks about a possibility in future when virtual classroom will take over formal school and college education of the present age. The mechanical teacher will teach future students. Homework and assignment will be given in a punch code to every student at home. The story ends when future children become nostalgic, as unlike them, students of ancient time used to go to school and had fun together in the school. Now let's move on to the story sequence. The main character of the story is Margie. Margie remembers that once her grandmother told her that his grandfather studied all the books that were printed on paper. The children found it very funny to read the words which did not move. On the other hand, the books that Margie and Tommy read were e-books whose text keeps on moving on the screen, unlike print books. Dear students, remember that Margie and her brother Tommy are projected in this story to be the students of future. Okay, when there will be no print books, there will be no school. Everything will be taught at home by the mechanical teacher. So you've got to understand, keep in mind this particular fact while you go through the story. Now let's move on to the next. Tommy disliked the printed books, as you have to throw it away after reading. He felt that computer screen contains many books and are better than a print book. So you can understand that Tommy favors the computer book, because in computer book on computer you can store many books, okay, unlike physical book which you have to throw away after reading it. On being asked by Margie, Tommy replied that the print book was found in the storeroom of his house. The book was about going to school and about the life at school. So let us move on to the next part. Margie's school is a mechanical teacher. Margie's school was a virtual classroom. Margie hated this virtual classroom because she was writing many tests in geography in which she was performing very poorly. Finally, her mother called the county inspector to check the machine. Machine means here mechanical machine, okay, with an attached screen. Margie hated this mechanical teacher the most because she had to submit her homework and test papers to it. Margie had to write her homework and test papers in a punch code, that is a computing language. The machine checked the papers and calculated her marks in a few seconds. Next, let us move on to the next sequence. The county inspector came when Margie's mother called him to check the machine. He came accordingly and resolved the defect and reported that the machine was geared to a higher level. He had slowed it down to an average 10-year-old level. Margie was sad because she did not want to learn. She did not want to study from this machine, and she wanted that the inspector should take it away. But unfortunately, the inspector resolved the problem at her home only, so the machine wasn't taken away. Margie remembers that once Tommy's mechanical teacher was removed for repair for almost 1 month because the history sector of the machine that taught history had been wiped out. Tommy was very happy as he did not have to submit any homework for the entire duration of 1 month when his machine was removed. Tommy informed Margie from the book that he found, of course, that in olden days there was a human teacher. Tommy tells Margie that the man who taught the class discussed many things with the students, gave them homework and asked them many questions like their mechanical teacher. When Margie said that a human teacher is not as smart as the machine teacher, Tommy said that he is as knowledgeable as the machine teacher. He compares the machine to his father and says that his father knows as much as the machine teacher. Now let's move on to the next part of the story. When Margie said that she did not want a strange man to come to her house to teach her, Tommy replied that teachers did not come to students' house to teach them. In ancient time, they had a special building called school, and the students went to the school to study. Like all of you are going to a particular school to study. Likewise, Margie and Tommy are discussing that in ancient period, because Margie and Tommy, as I told you before, are the students of future generation, okay, where a future generation during which there was no school, everything was taught from home only. There was virtual classroom at home. So you have got to understand this point whenever you are reading the story, as I told you before. Okay. Margie had read just half of the book when her mother called her, as it was time for her to attend her virtual school. Margie's school was in the next room, next to her bedroom. Margie was so interested in reading the book that Tommy found out, of course, the physical book, okay, that she asked Tommy if she could read the book with him after the school. Tommy was feeling very great because Margie took interest in reading the book that he found from the attic. He placed the book under his arm and went off to his home. Margie sat in front of the machine similar to a computer, and the machine was turned on. It said that the lesson of the day was in arithmetic, and the topic was addition of proper fractions. Further, it instructed her to insert the homework of the previous day in the slot for inserting the homework. Margie is thinking of the story told to her by her grandmother. Her grandmother told her that his grandfather used to go to school when he was a little boy. As Margie is bored with his machine teacher, with her machine teacher, she is reminded of that life of ancient period where students used to go to school to study. all the kids from the whole neighborhood in ancient time came laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. Margie feels that school is so much fun. Children get together, they study in a fun way, they get the same homework, and they can discuss it, take help, and talk about it. Also, so all the students became friends and studied in a funny way. The writer wants us to realize the importance of schools in our life. Children sometimes get bored and fed up going to school. But if you do not have a school, you won't get to meet friends. Your life will be very dull and boring. Next part. Margie found it very strange that teachers were not machines in ancient time, but they were human beings. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen when we add fractions, half and 1/4 and so on and so forth. As Margie had inserted her homework, the machine started with the lesson. There was no pause, no fun, no time for chatting, and no time for interacting with friends. Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days, in the ancient days, when they used to go to school and study all together. She was thinking about the fun they had. The author ends the story with the title of the chapter, The Fun They Had. The fun the students had when they went to real school. Margie is just thinking about the kids of the past who went to school and enjoyed studies. Next, Margie, now dear students, let's recapitulate what we have learned so far. Margie, a girl of 11 years, is the main character of the story. Her brother is Tommy. They only have e-books, the virtual books, so she is surprised to know about the print books. Margie remembers that once her grandfather told her that his grandfather studied all the books that were printed on paper. Margie hated this mechanical teacher the most because she had to submit her homework and test papers to it. When Margie said that human teacher is not as smart as the machine teacher, Tommy did not agree. He says that his father knows as much as his mechanical teacher. Tommy further informed Margie that teachers did not come to the students' house to teach them in ancient time. They had a special building called school where students went and studied all together and had fun together. Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. The author ends the story with the title of the chapter, The Fun They Had. Margie is just thinking about the kids of the past who went to school and enjoyed studies. So dear students, that brings us to the end of the explanation of the lesson. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly do it and press the bell icon for the notification of every new video that I upload for you. Okay? So during this pressing time of lockdown, kindly wash your hands at a frequent interval with soap or with hand wash, or dry it with alcohol-based sanitizer. Do take great care of yourself. Until I come very shortly with another video, do take care of yourself. Bye-bye.